Okay, got it. I didn't know I was going to have a show today, but I'm excited. You guys ready? Reality show by Kortney Good. So let's see where this goes. Maybe we can go viral. Who knows? Well, welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I just have to say, I'm really glad for this leadership call. I don't get to get on every single one, I get to get on most of them. And I think it's just a great way to learn from people, to grow from people, and stay engaged. And what I love about Thrivers is we don't take breaks. And it's a Tuesday, probably maybe nice where you're at. And it's at noon for me, and we're getting together, we're diving in, we're learning, we're growing. And last night, actually, we talked about that on our team call is we don't want to take time off because it's the summer. Yes. Are we busier? 100%. Is there more things you've done in the last month and a half than you've done in probably the last 6 months? Getting together and gatherings and connecting for sure. But don't let that get away from what you have your hands on, because what we do in this business is so relational that what we're doing is constantly connecting with people. We're constantly keeping in touch with people. And so there's no time to take a break because it's summer and we're super busy. I was saying to my team last night, like when you are busier in life, then you just need to like level up. That we always are just leveling up in every season of our life and every part of our life in our growth. And so that's no different for summer. So summer is the time where you see people on Zooms, then you're like, I look at you guys right now, I'm thinking this is grit. This is what it takes to get to where you want to go. This is what it takes to stay connected. But again, learning a couple nuggets. Now, we don't want you to take this whole entire Zoom and try to play every single part of it. But our goal is for you to leave this Zoom and take 2 or 3 nuggets and apply them this week and the next week and the next week, to help grow your business. And I'm super excited to be able to have Amy Donnell as somebody that we get to interview today and hear a lot about her and what her story is. And to me, when I think of Amy, I do think grit. I do think of like, if she's at work right now and sitting in her car, and she'll probably will share that a little bit. But when I said, hey, I'm not sure if you can do the Zoom, I know you're at work. And I don't remember exactly what her response was, but like, yes, I will hide in my car. I'll do what it takes. Let's do this thing. And so that's super, super cool that, that there's people out there in your upline, sideline, whatever line that is always doing whatever they can to grow them, to help grow other people. And I just think that's amazing. So, and by the way, my name is Kortney, and I've been thriving for a long time, and I love it. And yay. I was just on here a couple weeks ago. So, Amy, with that being said, welcome, welcome. If you can just tell us a little bit about you, how long have you been thriving? What even got you to that point to say yes to some crazy vitamins that you saw either on social media or in person? And then what makes you continue to thrive out loud?
Wonderful. Thank you. And as Kortney mentioned, I am in my car and it just started raining. So I hope it doesn't start. I hope it's not too loud. So forgive me for whatever you hear in the background. I'll try my best. I am awful with dates. I was saying that at a local this weekend. They said, how long you been thriving? And I was like, I don't know, like somewhere between 6 and 7 years. So somewhere in there. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So I didn't want to thrive. I didn't want to start. I work in the health and fitness industry, something that Kortney and I have in common. And clients had asked me about it. I'd seen a little bit about it here and there. I always try to make sure I say this properly. I thought it was silly. I thought, why are people thinking that they're getting these life-changing results by wearing a sticker? Because I was quite ignorant to it. I only knew of the sticker, which most people do, because you consume the first 2 things, but you can see the sticker. So clients would ask me about it, and I would tell them, you know what, you're doing what you need to do. Just stay consistent, keep doing what I'm telling you to do, and you'll see the results. But at the same time, they weren't getting the results they should be getting for working as hard as they were doing, getting proper sleep, drinking their water, eating well, exercising. And me personally, I was exhausted. I was doing all of the things as well, but I also felt like I was burning the candle at both ends. I had awful headaches, exhausted, grumpy, all of those things. So I thought it's kind of a double-sided thing. I thought I'll try Thrive so that I can tell them I tried it. It didn't work. We're going to drop it and we're not going to bring it up anymore. But then there was that little bitty inkling of maybe this will be the thing that gives me a little bit of energy to do better. So like I said, that was somewhere between 6 and 7 years ago. And I was the skeptic of all skeptics. So it's okay. I always tell people it's okay to not believe me yet, but until you try it, you won't have that opinion you won't have that decision for yourself. At this point, it's just an opinion. You don't actually know. So in terms of thriving out loud, I do my very best to have a social media presence. When I'm not at work, I have my DFT visible, but I also work full-time in government healthcare. So I can't always have my DFT visible. I can't post during certain hours of the day. I do have some restrictions. So it does require that I am a little bit crafty with how I remain consistent. It would be super easy for me to say, just forget it then. Like, this is too hard. There's so much thought, to the point where on Flex Fridays, I can wear a black label on my wrist because it fits really well under my watch. So I'm not going to just put my DFT on after my workday because I feel like I've lost half the day of not getting the benefits of that DFT. So I put it and then I wear it under my watch so it's not visible at work. And then I can still have my Flex Friday because I want that consistency. I want people to know that, yes, I'm still thriving every Friday. Be prepared for my Flex Friday, and my team sees that consistency as well. So we do talk a lot about thriving out loud, being loud and proud, but recognizing that sometimes you do have to be a little bit crafty in how you can do that. And your thriving out loud doesn't have to look exactly like someone else's. So we talk a lot about in our team about making it work for you. And as opposed to it feeling like it's difficult or it's hard to do this, make it work in your life. There's a lot of things that I can't do that Kortney can do, for example, with her posting and her stories and things like that. But I figured out what works for me, and then I have to stick with that and remain consistent with what works for me, to know that I'm doing all of my daily things that I have to do.
Amy, share a little bit about, like, when you started thriving, how did that change? Like, did it change the dynamic of your home? Did it change the way things kind of went there? Kind of tell us a little bit of how this product started to change your home life, and they kind of got you motivated to, keep going.
For sure. So I started on a sample like most people, or a lot of people do, I guess. And on the first day, also a little tidbit, side note, I hid my Thrive under my bed. Like, I told no one, not even my husband. I found a stranger to get the sample from because I didn't want anyone to know that I was putting any effort or money into this Thrive nonsense. So the first day I took it, I was so negative and certain that it wasn't going to do anything. I couldn't tell you if I felt anything from it. However, on day 3, there was a little bit of a light bulb moment because although I work in the health and fitness industry in the primary care side of things, I had switched to a more desk job and a more admin and promotion type of role. So if anyone has ever switched to a desk job or just have one, you know how hard that is on your body. Although you're not doing anything, it's almost more physically exhausting. So I was finding that, like, by 3 o'clock, I was hitting that wall. I worked till 4:30, but I was hitting that wall and I wasn't productive after 3. I was reaching for the junk food. I don't drink coffee, but Pepsi was my choice. I thought that would be my caffeine source to pump me up to get me through the rest of the day, where when I reflect back, I still wasn't positive, or I still wasn't productive. I just had a whole bunch of sugar in me. So for a short time, I felt like I was more awake, but then you crash even harder with that. So on the 3rd day of my sample, my office mates were packing up and they were leaving. And I was like, guys, where are you going? They're like, well, it's the end of the day. We're going home. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was still focused. I was productive. I hadn't reached for the junk food and I felt really good still. And I was like, I must have just slept well last night. Like, it can't be this thrive nonsense. So it was in the back of my mind, but I wasn't prepared yet. But I continued. The lady that I ordered from, she explained to me the consistency of putting this in your body, which I understood already. So I had ordered at that point. And about day 10 was like the real aha moment for me. As I mentioned a minute ago, I lived with awful headaches. Consistent headaches to the point where I was missing work. I was missing family activities. I wasn't active in my daughter's life. I was sensitive to sound, light. I would be sick to my stomach. Sometimes I'd make it halfway to work and have to go back home. So I was like a slave to these headaches, and they were running my life, and nothing I could do was fixing it. Chiropractor, acupuncture, massage, you name it. We were spending a ton of money just to kind of take the edge off. And I wasn't making the correlation to the fact that there must be something more than just the structure of my body. I wasn't realizing that I must be lacking something. And that was the sign and the signal that my body was telling me. It all makes sense now, but at that point, I wasn't catching on. And day 10, I hadn't had a single headache. And if you suffer with anything, I know headaches won't resonate with everyone, but if you suffer with something, it's exhausting, and it sucks the life out of you, and it robs you of certain family time and things that you really deserve to be able to be a part of. And realizing that evening that my daughter was playing on the floor, she's about, I don't know, 6. Again, timing, I'm really bad with the numbers. She was down on the floor playing, and I would have normally been laying on the couch. So after, you get home from work, you do the dinner, dishes, you're already tired. So I would lay on the couch and watch her play. And I was on the floor playing with her. And she's like, Mom, it's like you're a kid again. And like, talk about punch to the gut. Like, it's like, oh my God, you're right. And I haven't been able to do this with you, and you're 6. Like, we have so much time together, so many things that we should be experiencing together. And I'm not modeling healthy behavior to you. And I didn't want her to think this was normal and okay. So from that moment on, I thought, I don't know what this stuff is. I don't understand why I feel so much better, but I owe it to myself and my family, my husband, to keep going. Because I'm not going back to whatever that version of me was before. I almost didn't cry this time, Kortney, but yeah, my family deserves a better version of me. And yeah, I will remain this version.
I love that. And that's so amazing. What we have our hands on literally changes the quality of somebody's life. Like from the time they take the capsules, the lifestyle mix, and the DFT, their day is still different at noon. Their day is still different at 2 and at 6, and then even when they're sleeping. And so it's so cool that we actually have our hands on something that there's a compensation plan attached to it. However, you want to work that hardcore, grit, and do all the things and connect with all the people. And that's the thing, is that we cannot get away from. If you've been thriving for more than a year, let's just say, don't get to that point in your life where you're like, this is just how it is. Be grateful, have gratitude that you found this. I don't care if your upline is still thriving with you, your upline is thriving or not. It really does not matter. Just be thankful that you got introduced to this product that is getting you on a Tuesday leadership call to grow and learn more, because what? You want more out of this business, right? There's going to be never a time in our life. I mean, look at our CEO, Jason Camper. Do you think he's just like, I'm good, I got everything? No, he's like, how can I do more? How can I serve more? How can I give more? How can I teach more? How can I make other? I mean, it's just like go, 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 go. So again, the dog days of summer, what are we going to do as thrivers that helps change the quality of somebody's life? We're going to go, go, go and learn, learn, learn. And so the biggest thing is like, how do we do that? Like, how do we continue to share in what is the main thing of getting new thrivers? Well, it's again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? We share our story, not the product. We got to get to this point where we stop just sharing the product. We have to share our story. Then the product. Well, what's the product? Because they heard their story. Again, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. So you can talk about the capsules, the lifestyle mix, and the DFT till you're blue in the face. But if they don't know what that product has done for you and what your story is attached to that, it really does not mean anything, you guys. Like Amy just said, she would go to work. Now, this is 95% of Americans right now, probably even more than that. They go to work, they come home, cook dinner, do dishes, get on the couch. They go to work, come home, cook dishes. Well, you never know. They could be cooking dishes. Cooking and doing dishes, you guys. We have a chance. We have a tangible product to give to people to change that part of their life. They're never going to get that back of just the same old. And I guess here's the thing too. We're not just educating them on the product and our story, but we have to fully educate on that's actually, you don't want to post on your social media. That is not normal to live like that. But we know now as thrivers, it is not normal. You can come home from a long day of work and eat and do dishes and still do things and get on the floor, play with your kids, your grandkids. You can go for a walk. You can self-develop. You can get your calendar out and start writing things in that you want to do for the next month that's going to help you grow your business. Your mindset changes because you became a thriver. I've asked this question so many times is, before you started thriving, were you self-developing? Were you ever reading? Almost everybody says no. I read in high school and the books that I had to definitely never self-developed. And now everyone's like, I'm on my 10th book. I couldn't imagine not putting something on, YouTube and saying motivational videos just to help me through the day a little bit. We do things as thrivers, as networkers that we're just building. I say this to my team all the time, network marketing, whatever. It's just a fancy word for building relationships. You just got to get really good at building relationships. And if you think you suck at that, find a way to get better. Don't just keep sucking at it. You know what I mean? There's YouTubeversity. There's so many ways. There's so many books. There's so many videos. And how to, if you're like, I don't really know how to be intentional with people. I feel intentional, but it doesn't come across that way. Well, get better at converting with human beings that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life, right? So just start getting better at the things that you don't feel like that you're so good at. Okay, so Amy, you traveled to a local that you co-hosted over the weekend on a Sunday. It was on Sunday, correct? Yes. So tell me that it's summer, it's Sunday, you got to travel almost 3 hours. And what is it like when when you don't want to show up? Like sometimes you just don't feel like showing up. Like you made this commitment. Oh my gosh, I really don't want to do that. Or you wake up on a Wednesday and you just don't feel like showing up because maybe, the last 10 people that you messaged didn't message you back. So what keeps you going?
Well, I'm actually going to add something that I forgot to tell you yesterday. So in my job, my daytime job, I travel my local community to share what programs and services we offer at our primary healthcare health center. And one that I did a couple weeks ago, maybe even a month, I don't know. There was a lady sitting right at the front, and halfway through my presentation, she rolled up her sleeves and she wore a black label. And I was like, I had a heck of a time focusing on my work presentation for the rest, because I was like, I just want to talk to that lady. So after the presentation was done, I made it look like I was a little lost in the hallway, and I found her. And I was like, do we know each other? She's like, what? You just presented to me that, And so I said, your black label. And I showed her mine, and she's like, oh my God. So we had that little moment. And I asked her her name. She asked me my name. And she said, oh my God, I knew your name sounded familiar. You're a big deal around here in the Thrive community. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like, I didn't know what to say. And it really struck me. I was like, this is a responsibility I then felt. I thought, I had no idea anyone other than my team, direct team, knew who I was, but for some reason they do. And she continued to say positive things. So I knew it was a good reason she knew who I was, but I thought, I'm looking at this as a huge responsibility that I need to continue to be that positive person and positive representative of my Thrive team and Lavelle in general in this community. So I felt like I was doing that already, but that just really solidified to me that we have a huge impact in what we do, and we're reaching people whether we know they're watching us or not, whether they're communicating with us or not. There's people that are watching. So back to the local this weekend. Generally, when we have locals, we have a good turnout. We have an awesome little team here, and we support each other, and we have our locals, and we have people turn up. But this one was a little farther to drive. It was a weekend. It's June, lots of things going on, and no one would come with me. And I know there was some people had things going on. I totally get that, but I've never had no one. And I was like, so I'm going to drive all the way 3 hours to someone else's local by myself. And then I had that self-talk. You just told yourself you're going to take this responsibility to the next level. And I will show my team that whether I want to go or not, I will go. Whether I feel like doing it, I will do it. So I guilted my cousin who lives along the way. I said, I'm picking you up and you're coming with me. So I wasn't totally alone. But there's going to be days when it is so much easier to say, screw it, to say, I'll do it tomorrow, to, you know, how important is that IPA? How important is sending the birthday messages? But I just remind myself that I have a vision and I have a goal. And if I'm not doing the work, no one's going to do it for me. No one's getting me to that end result. I have to be the one that's doing that work. And like I said, I have a vision of a large team. I want to be that positive person for my team, and leading by example and doing all the things that I keep asking them to do is the only way that we're going to grow as a team. So I sit in my car on my lunches. I'm very the words escape me, but when I'm on social media, I try not to get lost in the scroll. I know what I'm doing when I log into Facebook, and I do all of the important things, and then I can go and look at random reels or something like that. But intentional, that's the word. I'm intentional with my time when I'm on social media because I don't have a lot to waste. And if I waste 20 minutes looking at reels that have no value to me, I'm not going to be any closer. Whereas if I spend 20 minutes doing my birthday messages, my staying in contact, I think you changed yesterday instead of follow-ups, I'm going to be closer at the end of my day to my goal than I would if I didn't do it.
Yeah, I love that. I love when you said responsibility. That is something I think I've always thought, but maybe just haven't attached that word to what we do because it is a responsibility. I've always said, like, if you quit because things got too hard, again, if anybody was at the Dallas retreat when Inky said, the easiest thing to do is quit because there's no effort. There's no effort in quitting. So if you just decide to quit, doing your daily activities, your daily habits, you decide to quit because it was easy. It wasn't hard to quit. So the people that don't quit is the grit, it's the fire, it's that passion. So again, if you have quit in the past, I'm not saying fully quit, but you quit a little bit of self-development, you quit sharing your story, you quit posting, you quit this. It wasn't hard to do that. You just stopped doing it, right? There was no effort in that. But here's the thing, you can come back in a second and start posting again and start self-developing again. I think that's what the problem is with really society is you say you're going to do something, and then whatever that is, okay, eating better, exercising, your Lavelle business, and then you don't do it. Self-doubt and that feeling of like, God, I said I was going to do something, and now I'm not doing it a freaking again for the 100th time. And then you're feeling a little bit lower and your shoulders are starting to sag a little bit more. Get up, put your shoulders up, and fight for what you want. Get uncomfortable, get busy, do things that you haven't done, do things that you used to do that worked, but you found, we get on these Zooms and you hear, oh, try it this way, try it this way. And then you start to try it all these ways. And you're like, dang it, you know what, actually worked. This actually worked way back here 3, 4 years ago. Then do that. Do what works for you. But again, we have a responsibility, because if you quit today on you because you decide things are just too hard and you're in a valley and you feel like you're never going to get out of it, you are literally, if you are you're changing the quality of someone's life that could be better because you decided to quit. Because if Amy would have quit, and Meg would have quit, and Kelly would have quit, and Jackie would have quit, and Shelby would have quit, and Joy would have quit a year ago, there's people that you've introduced this product to since then that their life is different because of that. It's because you didn't quit. You have to stay consistent and you have to put action. And I think that is super important. And what Amy just said, we talk about follow-ups a lot, right? You guys, we talk about this a lot on leadership calls. You've heard the word 1,000 times. I'm sure it's so old. But again, most people say they're not that great at it. There's no one's like, I am key, I am down, I've got it. I know exactly how to follow up. I don't miss a beat. I have never heard anybody say that. I've never said that. And I've always, and I said this to my team last night, I was like, I always feel like a follow up was so businessy. It's so like a check mark. I followed up with Sally today. I get to put a check mark next to her. I did my follow up, and it never sat right with me. I don't know why. And then the other day, and I told this to my team yesterday too. So you guys, I am taking credit for this. Okay. And I usually take credit, but you be hashtagging this. No, I'm just kidding. When instead of following up, why don't we just say, let's just keep in touch with that person? Just keeping in touch with them. Doesn't have to be thrive. It's just keeping in touch. How is it going? It doesn't have to be thrive, keep in touch, and then life, keep in touch, then thrive. Life. No, just be like, let them know that you care. Let them know that they're important. People want to feel important. So keep in touch, not just for the sale, y'all. We get to that point where we talk to people so many, we keep talking to them, and then we, I don't know, just not for the sale. If they'll know it, the way you say something, the way your message comes across on social media and your private messenger and email, if you are going in just for the sale, there's somewhere in there that's going to feel like that on the other side. So when you're keeping in touch with somebody, don't think about it as for the sale. Just keep in touch like you want to know what's going on in their life. Again, right now, you talking to somebody, they could feel actually really good about their life. Maybe they just got married. Maybe they have a new boyfriend. I don't know, whatever. Maybe they lost 10 pounds. Like, they just feel good. And they hear about this Thrive thing. They're like, no, I'm good. Like, I feel great. Emotionally, they're feeling good. Spiritually, they're feeling great. But what happens in 3 months when they're not feeling so great, right? So again, make sure we're sharing our story and not just product. We got to share what it's doing. I say that on Flex Friday. Like, instead of just saying Flex Friday, everybody, hope it's a blast, you have to put a nugget in there. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't, one of 10 things that Thrive is doing for you. Thank God this thing is keeping me through the day at work, keeping me, home with the kids, while you got to add something. Another thing before I bring it back over to Amy, and which I think that everybody should be doing this, but when people are, I don't see it a whole heck of a lot where people are welcoming, but I do. Our team is starting to, pick back up on it again. For some reason, we lost it, where we weren't welcoming people to social media. And then when someone's like, welcome, she's, I don't know, had a 3-day and she decided to order, whatever the story is. And then people in comments, right? Welcome to the journey. Welcome to greatness. Actually comment on there. Oh my gosh, like whatever it is that you would say, you just made the best decision. Thrive has literally changed the quality of what my day looks like. I have more energy, more mental clarity, focus. I keep up with my kids better. I'm so excited for you to start. What about if all the comments said something like that? And what if you don't have to change your story? Your story is your story. So what I just said is my story. I don't need to change it the next time someone's new. because that's my story. So you can actually just put that in your notes. You don't have to recreate that if you don't have a second to do it. And copy in your notes, you can put a couple different things. And then when someone's welcoming, and even if it's a sideline, you want to help somebody out because, I do believe, if it all bounces around, you know what I mean? Like help others. So you see somebody else that's a friend of yours, but maybe not on your downline, why not help them out and say, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. It changed the quality of my day, blah, 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 blah. So now all these people that are reading this post are seeing, oh my God, this happened to this girl, this, oh my God, not like welcome to greatness. Still, what is Thrive? The whole point of making those welcome posts is because you want their people to see that. You want their people to see that they're doing something new, but they're not really enticed by welcome to the greatness, welcome to the journey. I mean, that's the least we can do, but I think we need to add a sentence or two in there. Okay, Amy, you kind of talked about this a little bit, but if you anything that you missed or elaborate on this, but how do you fit this into your busy life? I mean, we see you sitting in the car right now. You talked about that a little bit, but what does your daily habits look like? And I guess you kind of already answered that, but that was one of my questions. Like, you have to be somewhat structured to get your IPAs done, to get things done, and not just all over the place. And it gets to be 10 o'clock at night, and you're like, dude, I don't even know what I just did today, but I don't feel accomplished.
Yeah. So I would be lying if I said I did this every single day, but I try. So when I first wake up in the morning, I'm trying really hard to not grab my phone first, which is something that I used to do in the self-development work that I've been doing. We learned that that's not necessarily good for your mental health. So it happens in the morning, just not immediately after I open my eyes, take my capsules. I don't grab my phone anymore. But before I go to work, I get in my birthday messages, because as we know, we do them a little bit different. I don't just write on someone's wall. I make sure that I'm in their messenger. I always send a birthday message relevant to one of my five things. So I love vintage Broncos, lemons, and the Golden Girls. And I know that I've been doing a good job with that because people message me stuff or tag me in things all of the time. So right now I'm using a Golden Girls little meme that I send. So it's nice to know that they're seeing that first thing in the morning, and then I'm on their mind. And because of how social media works, they will then see the next post that I put up. So I'm always in their messenger as opposed to writing it on their wall. And then any follow-ups or any way to keep in touch, if I've received a message after I decided that I was finished working the night before, I will get that out of the way, because chances are the conversation will carry on through the day. And I don't want to wait to start that conversation until the evening, because our evenings are busy. My daughter goes to bed a lot later now. I try not to be constantly working when she's awake. So any opportunity. I don't have a lot of breaks at work, but I do get my lunch break. So whether I'm at my desk, in my car, when it's nice out, I might go to a park or something like that. And you can crank out a lot of focused work in 20 or 30 minutes when you have the time. So when I'm really prepared and really structured with everything, I know what those 20 minutes are going to be. And then I used to be better. Again, I will not lie. I do have to get better with this, but knowing what I'm going to post ahead of time. We follow sort of the Motivation Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Paydays on Tuesday. So kind of knowing what I'm going to be sharing on each day helps as well. I have my phone more organized, where I have different files on my phone in my gallery. So I have my Flex Friday gallery in case for some reason I can't take a picture. I'll use an old one because I'm not missing. I have Wellness Wednesday folder with different pictures I can use. If I can't think of something, I always have something I can grab from, so I don't have that excuse of I didn't know what to post or I didn't have anything to post. Take a picture of your pet. Everyone loves a pet picture, right? There's always something. So I try to not allow myself to fall victim to an excuse. So I kind of keep that in the back of my mind. There's no reason I can't do all of these things during the day. It might be little bits here and there, but by the end of the day, I want to have at least the bare minimum done, because I'm not going to bed without doing anything. And I use my old school pen and paper planner, and I write 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the top, birthdays at the beginning of each week. So it's not pretty, but it's as structured as possible. And it really helps me stay on task. Because if I didn't have those things, I know I would forget. And then it's just that spiral, like you were saying, it leads from one day, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow doesn't happen because something comes up, and then all of a sudden you're on day 3 of not doing something, and it's really easy to let that spiral happen. So just having some sort of a plan, it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be pretty, just know that you are going to have something done by the end of the day, and that really helps me stay on task, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I truly believe that your commitments define you. I mean, they can either develop you or they can destroy you, right? So your commitments literally will define how your life is, how your business is, how your daily habits, if you have daily habits, they can develop you or they can destroy you. So you get to decide what those look like, right? Okay, now real quick, I'm going to ask a question. Does anybody here ever has done or you do it daily where you have like a to-do list? Where I need to do this, need to do it. Amy, you do? Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to say something. No, okay. So here's the thing is I think for most of us, we've always have like these to-do lists. I need to get this done. I need to get this done, this done, this done, right? You check mark, check mark. We've heard these, we've read the books, we've heard the calls, we've done all the things, do the most important things first, yada, yada, yada. What about doing a no list? What about a no, like the things that you are not going to do that you've been doing that is not putting you forth in your business? So, what about a no to-do list? I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I'm not. What if you wrote one thing down today that you're not going to do that you said that you weren't going to do for the last 6 months, but you keep showing up every day and doing it, whatever that is for you? No, I'm talking business. What are you not doing? Getting a little bit further. And again, you guys, we don't have to get 30% better this month. It's not possible. It's almost impossible to get 1% better each day. So if you look at, so you think about 1% each day would be 30% in a month. That's not realistic. Some people get better, like 30% in 3 years, they get better. So let's be realistic. If you just did something little each day, less than 1%, that would make you better for the next day. Then that day you get a little bit better, and then a little, whatever is the thing that you need to get better at. If you're super amazing at social media and you got that down, don't try to spend a whole lot of time getting better at that. But if that's something that you're lacking on, what can you do? What can you say? How can you engage? Then that's the time that you spend this summer. We talked about this last night on our team call or team Zoom, is that we are not going to let the weekends. Okay, I'm going to spell this out to you because you almost have to have it spelled out. Don't let the weekend, WEEKEND, okay, become your week, WEAKEND, weekend. So what happens is, does that make sense to you guys? Did I say that clearly where that made sense? Okay. And so here's the thing is, again, we talked about this at the beginning of the call. We probably have all done more in the last month and a half than we did in the last 6 months because of the weather has changed. There's so graduation parties, there's weddings, there's everything. There's something going. There's times where you're like, I have 4 things I could be doing on this Saturday, and I have to literally just choose one because they're all at the same time. Like we're super, super busy. But this is the thing that my team and I are not doing. We are not going through this summer again feeling weaker on the weekends because it's the weekend. No, we're building a business. We're super freaking excited. We're all going for a retreat, right? I mean, hello, like we can't get past that either, you guys, where Lavelle keeps dropping these amazing things, in our hands. And we're like, okay, what can we do with this? Are we glad that we've been working our butt off the last 6 months to a year, forever, since we've been starting with Lavelle? So when they put out these retreats, these bonuses, that we're like, I feel pretty good about this because I've been building relationships. I've been connecting with people. But again, we talked about this last night. Or are you like, OMG, that 4K and above, I could easily have been there. I could have easily have been at this next lifestyle getaway because anybody and everybody can go now. Basically the same qualifications in a sense with, not PPA, But realistically, we're all like at the same level right now. And you could be like, I really freaking wish that I would have done more in the last however long. You'll never get to a point where you're like, dang it, I wish I wouldn't have worked so hard last year. No, you're only going to say the opposite. You're only going to say, I wish I would have. So here's again, this is not a guilty saying. This is just saying today's a new day. And a year from now, you can say, I'm so glad that I switched gears and I'm moving forward to all the things that I want in life. And I have a vehicle called Lavelle.com to get me there, right? I just think that it's so important to stay consistent in action, because you guys, that will never hurt you. Consistency and action will never hurt you. The opposite will. If you're not doing it and you're not putting any action, those are the types of things that will hinder you. Now, anything that you want to just add, Amy, without me asking you a certain question that you want to add to this Zoom before I think of a question to ask you?
No, I don't think so. Hit me with questions.
Okay, perfect. Investing in yourself. We talk about that all the time. There's no other greater investment than investing in yourself. Now, prior to being with Lavelle, and I don't know this answer, so that's why I'm asking it actually.
Yeah.
Were you self-developing? Were you reading the books that are not work related, but were you doing outside things to get your noggin in check?
I thought I was, but so 2-ish years ago, I suppose, I was self-reflecting on the growth of my business, and again, not claiming to be doing everything perfect, but I was doing like most of the things that I could implement and do, and the growth wasn't there. I was like, if I'm working as hard as I think I'm working, there should be more growth. What is happening? So I decided, or I kind of, had that self-talk. If I'm being honest with myself and doing everything that I think I'm doing, perhaps the problem isn't here with my business ethics, like what I'm doing in the business, perhaps is something else. So I looked into some self-development stuff, which aside from listening to like YouTube motivational videos and buying books and reading half of them, I thought I would put a little bit more focus on that, and realized like I had all sorts of paradigms and things in terms of my thoughts were blocking my progress a lot. So I would think, okay, I'm going to hit 40K again. And then that little voice in the back of my mind's like, yeah, but this and this and this and this. So I was limiting my own thoughts. I was limiting my ability to grow because I was negative, but not even realizing I was being so negative in the self-talk and stuff. So I actually invested quite a bit in that self-development type programming, and it's helped quite a bit. I've been able to share that with my team. We use a lot of the things that we've learned from that now as a team to help us continue to grow, keep each other motivated, positive and focused, and so on. But also slightly different focus, but still investing in myself. I used to choose a lot of the things that I would put into my body based on price, right? So either like a pretty package or something that was on sale, or the commercial's really cool, right? Stuff like that. That's how I would choose. And now that I'm actually putting premium grade products and fuel into my body, feeling the difference there as well. So investing in yourself can look very different. It can relate to different aspects of how you're investing in yourself, but you only have one body. It's the only place you have to live. And if you don't treat it well, you're going to suffer the consequences of that. So as we know, the correlation to the gut and the mind, they go hand in hand. So if you're treating them both properly, your results and the outcome is going to be a lot better.
Yes, I love that. And I love that we just know that there's always room for growth, and not everything's going to be just so perfect, but knowing that we're putting like our effort in. Now, you have had a lot of events. I've seen you at a lot of events, and I definitely realize company wide, I mean, maybe there's some teams that are heavy on this right now, but that there is not as many gatherings. The last one I had was probably about 3 weeks ago, and there was 6 of us there, 5 of us there. I don't know. And I look back at my photos from years ago. I mean, I could easily get 40 people in a room on a Tuesday, easily, without making a big fuss about it. And I've realized that, and we talked about this a little bit last night, is that is lacking. I know, even though I just recently did one, you just did one on Sunday, but people are dying for a community. They are dying for it. They want to feel important somewhere. Now, I think of us as women and some men on here. We've heard the stories from so many people. It's usually people in, and I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but this is true for a lot, but in your own home is where some people don't feel important. In where they live, where they eat, where they sleep, where they get ready. That's the place where they feel less important. They might actually feel more important at work, right? But here's the thing. If us thrivers aren't connecting with a couple other thrivers, a handful of them every single month, and posting that on social media, and having a fun picture in a restaurant or in someone's house or someone's backyard, they're not going to remember that we are a community that gathers and empowers. So we are like, we are community, our Zooms, we get off these Zooms and we're fired up and we're excited. I got off my team call yesterday. Brian's like, how'd it go? I was like, freaking awesome. Everyone's amazing. It was all good and cup was full and all that kind of thing. If we're not doing that and we're not showing the outside world that us drivers get together and empower each other, they're not going to know we do this. We get off these Zooms, we get excited, but they're not excited. They don't even know what we just did. So we have to get out of our own way, get super, super comfortable. You know what the amazing thing happens when you jump? I don't care what it is. Say, okay, I'm actually going to create something next Thursday at a coffee shop or wherever. Doesn't have to do anything big. And you're going to call 3 of your thrivers that live local and say, hey, I don't even know what, but we're all going to get together and we're all just going to share our story. And then you can invite people and we're going to just share a story, because what is it all about? Just sharing our story. And then we'll take a photo and then people are going to see it. And then guess what we're going to do it again? You can't just do it once and not do it for 6 months, because there's not a whole lot of consistency there. And again, what if you posted something tonight, you had an event, and a fourth, they say only a fourth of the people on your Facebook even see what you're posting. So what if they didn't see that? They need to see another one. You guys, we got to get uncomfortable and do things. And here's the thing too, the kiss of death is waiting, procrastinating. If there's, and I said this to my team last night, I'm kind of like redoing this right now, but anyways, but it's been on my heart. It's something that I've been thinking about, is if there's something on your mind, and you're like, I want to do a live with so-and-so, or I want to create an event. I don't know, whatever it is that you've been saying that you wanted to do it right then, create it, get your calendar out and look up the date right then. You're like, yeah, the hardest part is scheduling a gathering is just getting the date. And you only need 2 hours out of the whole entire month. You don't tell me you don't got 2 hours out of the whole month to get a little gathering going. Either you show up. And here's the thing, you show up or 5 people show up. Amy just said she drove 3 hours and there was, I don't know if you even said, you told me last night, there were 7 people there. She loved it. She was so glad she went. She's like, it was amazing. Oh my God, my cup was full. And here, I didn't think I wanted to go. And now I'm like overflowing with, greatness, right? Like that happens. We know that happens every single time. But when you just make something happen and create something that somebody can come to feel better about themselves, why wouldn't you do it? The kiss of death is waiting, you guys, for all the things that you say you want to do in your life. Maybe you said you don't do happy birthdays. Let's just say you don't do happy birthdays every day, but you keep telling yourself, I keep hearing on these Zooms that people are really connecting with people just by doing happy birthdays. Do them right now. I don't even care if you do them right now while Amy's talking. No, not while I'm talking. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? We just actually have to go and do it. You'll feel better when you do it. And then you say you're going to do something else, just do it. So Amy, are you good for another few minutes? Okay. And I don't know if Amy even said, but she's in Canada, but you weren't even by the fires or anything, right?
No, it was smoky, but we're a province over.
Okay. Yeah. And it was surprising here in Ohio that we were like for 3 days, we're really supposed to go outside. Like it was like,
Mhm.
but I went to Cedar Point all day, so I did not listen. Obviously, I'm driving. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not making any. I was all scared. I'm like, ah, and then I get to Cedar Point, and then half the world was there. I'm like, they don't care either. So yeah. So do you have any more events coming up scheduled for the rest of the summer, Amy?
We have one planned. So Quinn, who I actually met at the Lavelle tour in October. So Quinn and I are 2 hours apart in Ontario. We met in Ohio, didn't know each other existed. So we've joined forces, sidelines, not connected at all, and we're doing these events. So we've done two, and our plan is to do Toronto next. We wanted to plan it after Sunday. So now that's done. I see a message she sent me one during this saying, okay, when's the next one?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
whether it will be summer or early fall, I'm not sure for that one, which is a bigger scale. But Vicky on my team and we have some more smaller focused ones in our homes scheduled coming up soon too.
I love that. And you know what? That made a point where you met her at a Ohio local,
Mhm.
realized that you kind of sort of lived by each other, not super close, but you're like, hey, you guys know the power. I love about even getting with the sideline. I mean, most of my events have been with the sideline as well. What kind of magic you guys can bring together. And I think that's so important. So anybody on this Zoom, if you're like, I am super solo, like I couldn't even be more solo than solo. There is nobody within like 3 hours of me. There might be somebody on a sideline. Like even if you get on a team page, ask your upline, say, do you know anybody in the area of this, and connect with people, come together. If you guys are a couple hours apart, come together. Where, people love taking road trips, getting together, being with women. And if you've never been to an event, you're missing out on a whole heck of a lot. But if you've been to a lot of events, but it's just been a while since you haven't been to one, create it yourself. Don't wait for your upline to create it. Now, if you see like Lavelle's doing all these fun things right now, the mix and the mingle, and they're doing so many different things to keep us thriving through the summer, but you're looking at it as you're like, I don't really know what that means. I haven't seen anything that my upline has done. They haven't posted anything. I don't see them do whatever. Do not even think about that. Think about, what am I doing? What can I do? How can I learn what this means? Let me watch a video what this means. And this is another kiss of death, because it's my word right now for the next month, is always waiting for your upline to do whatever Lavelle's putting out there. Well, I haven't seen Amber do that, so I guess I'm not doing it because she's not doing it. You know what I mean? This business directly starts with you in your downline. How are you pouring into them? Okay. And again, like if Amber was doing it, sweet, cool. She's just my motivated upline that's still working the business. You know what I mean? But if your upline is MIA, that does not matter. You keep working. You do this for you. You do this for your family. You do this for your team. Why? Because Amy just reminded us that we have a responsibility to continue to share and grow and be consistent, because there's people out there that I mean, that's like, how many times have you heard it? There's people out there watching, they don't even know. You know what I mean? We know that. People are watching you, and you know that people are watching you when you're super inconsistent. Oh, you're still thriving? I didn't know that. I didn't know you were thriving. Oh, yeah, I haven't really talked about it in the last couple of years, but I would die without it. So that's the thing, is that there's a product that you would take and you would not. The only time people, thrivers, get mad is when they have to detox. They get mad then. That's the only time thrivers get mad. Like, I can't thrive for 10 days. Like, this is the whole thing. I still, I still have thrivers. I mean, I'm sure they're almost, the box is old at this point, but they have never even taken their detox. I know, whatever. If you're on here, I don't want to say anything crazy, because they're so scared to stop thriving. They're like, won't do, like, all right, I'm going to start Sunday. Then I get a message. I'm just kidding. I'm going to start Monday, because Sunday had a lot to do. And then, and then it's Wednesday. You're like, all right, I'm going to start. You're like, no, because, I got to do this and I'm supposed to go here. Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's me. So, and so that's the thing is, so again, you guys, let's wrap our mind around a product that we have. All we have to do is connect, talk about it, share our story, give them information, send them our website. Lavelle does all the pretty parts of taking it and wrapping it up and delivering it to their home, and they get it, and we get to just what? Keep in touch, right? We just keep in touch with these people. We can't forget that we're a business inside of a business, that what our goal is to connect with people, to engage with people, to inform people, to make people feel important. That's what our job is. Along the way, developing you as a human being so you can do all those things. Lavelle does the hard work, y'all. They do the hard part. We just get to be the connectors of an amazing product that we get. Twin just said she guys don't even know she hasn't even detoxed yet because she doesn't want to not thrive. You know what I'm saying? So you guys, this is what we have our hands on. And again, I said this 2 weeks ago, and I never talk about this type of stuff ever, ever, ever. My team knows this. I never talk about this kind of stuff. But there's so many people that have left Lavelle that I've seen, know or not know, that are thriving again. Who does that? Because the product works. You cannot fight something that has changed your life. And this product obviously does that. It shows up for us when we can't believe that it shows up for us, right? We've all had those days thinking, thank God, thank for Thrive. You know what I mean? Thank you, Jesus, thank Thrive. Oh my gosh, like I couldn't imagine going throughout this day without it. And I was at amusement park over the weekend. Oh God, do I remember when I used to go there, you guys. I would see an energy station. I don't even know. I never went to it because I never did energy drinks. But I always thought I would always. This is before Thrive. It was just like, and I always thought, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I would think this. I would think of it as like an outlet, like where they could actually like charge me, literally, like me, charge me. They were just selling drinks. This was before Thrive. So when I was at Cedar Point over the weekend, same places, they don't have that. I looked for that. They don't have that anymore. Now it was just like, I don't even know what it was. I thought, I was so grateful the whole entire time I was there, you guys. I was in flipping awe, thinking, I feel good. I'm older. I got older in that 8 years, right? And I feel better ever. And I don't need no chart. I didn't even, whatever. I felt freaking good because of what was already in my body that was so premium. So, Amy, we have 2 minutes if you want to just do any closing thoughts, suggestions, anything. And
Yep.
yeah.
For sure. I'll be super quick. So number one, I did a detox and felt absolutely fine and even better afterwards. So don't assume you're not going to feel good. Just do it. It's 10 days. Twin. And also, Twin, it's your downline that I'm doing the locals with. So I was glad to see you on here. And in terms of those joint locals where you're co-hosting with the sideline, I know it's not going to be possible for everyone, but a cool aspect or component that we noticed on the weekend is that when non-thrivers are there and they realize that me, for example, as a guest, I had absolutely nothing to gain from them joining up. They just saw that I was there because I love the products. And I was pouring into them and encouraging them to sign up and sharing my products with them. And they realized that I wasn't going to gain anything from this. I'm not even on their team. That was a huge aha moment for them. They thought, like, they already recognized how cool is this company? How neat is this structure that this girl who doesn't know me, probably never see me again, doesn't benefit financially at all, still wants me to join this lady over here. So that responsibility thing again, you are a thriver, you're always representing the company. So it's kind of what I do at work too. When I'm out, I'm still representing who I work for and myself as a thriver. I'm always representing Thrive in a positive light. And I just want people to feel good, whether I get a check from them or not. We all have a common goal, that our goal is to help people feel amazing and live their best life. So I just wanted to add that in.
Oh, I love that. Thanks, Amy. You're the bomb.com, and we appreciate you. This is what a thriver, working and coming out to work hard to share with you. And that's grit. And I love that. I say, I love people that just busy, 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 figure out how they can do all the things in one day and then do it again and do it again, because that's what life's about, right? But having time for you to slow down, that should be the morning part. That's a whole other different Zoom. So happy Tuesday, happy payday. Whatever it is that you do this week, do it with the best intentions, do it with love, do it with honor, and go out there and serve your people that are on your team, the people that haven't started thriving with you yet, the people that are in anywhere around you. Help people, make them feel good. We're just literally in the best place at the right time. And I'm just happy to spend this Tuesday afternoon with all of you. And Amy, I appreciate you, love you, and we'll talk to you guys all soon. Happy Tuesday.